Ahead on Q2, hail to pay.
It was so loud. I mean, it was just like a constant roll.
Tennis ball-sized hail hammers Petroleum County, damaging homes and farms in Sunday night's wild storm. Plus a close call in Miles City. A massive tree crashes through a camper with the couple inside. Why they say they're lucky to be alive. And who controls Montana's water? Farmers, lawmakers, and scientists take a field trip together, but the future of our most precious resource is still unclear. The MTN's 4:30 news starts right now. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. I'm Andrea Lutz. Mother Nature pummeling Montana last night with severe weather, leaving miles upon miles of damage in its wake. From Lewistown to Miles City to round up many communities in cleanup mode tonight, even as more storms threaten. We start in Petroleum County near Winnett, where massive hail totaled vehicles and broke windows. Check out these stones of up to 3.5 inches in diameter, the largest recorded, of course, in the state. For those who watched the storm move through, they definitely called Sunday a wild ride.
It was so loud. I mean, it was just like a constant roll. And we were in, a tin roof building too, so that didn't help. But no, you couldn't hear anything. But my sister-in-law, she lives on the other side of the ranch, and they didn't get hit at all. But she said you could hear it. Just the hail. It was like a rumble for like 10 solid minutes. It's crazy.
We'll have much more on this hailstorm coming up on the MTN 5:30 news. A Billings couple is lucky to be alive after an extremely close call during Sunday's storm. A cottonwood tree toppled onto their camper while they were inside. Well, take a look. It happened at the Miles City KOA. As you can see, the couple's camper trailer was completely destroyed. The couple's daughter tells us her mom just left the living room and kitchen area where the tree fell to crawl into bed. You can see the debris surrounding the kitchen sink right there. Well, somehow the woman and her husband avoided injury. Our David J is speaking with them right now about this experience. Make sure to join us for that story tonight at 10. It wasn't just the wind that caused problems in Miles City Sunday night, so did the rain. Miles City experienced flash flooding following a torrential downpour when it rained more than 1.25 inches in about 90 minutes is how fast that fell. You can see it all coming down. This is video from our Stockman Bank weather cam, and that led to another close call. Take a look at this, a car becoming submerged in floodwaters underneath that underpass right there. We don't know what the condition of the driver is, though. And that was just part of the weekend's wild weather across Montana. The National Weather Service logged 116 storm reports Sunday, including a confirmed tornado north of Roundup and funnel clouds near Vaughn and Geraldine. Miles City clocked the strongest wind gust at 81 miles an hour and the heaviest rain, 1.32 inches in under 90 minutes. And the biggest hailstone, a whopping 3.5 inches near Petroleum Lake in Petroleum County. But we're far from in the clear right now. Several systems, including more rain and hail, are in the area this evening. With the very latest on what we can expect, here's Chief Meteorologist Ed McIntosh.
Things already getting busy with the hail being reported around the Red Lodge area. Alana, thanks very much for sharing that at weather@ktvq.com, or you can use our free downloadable weather app, and we'll keep you up to date with the warnings and advisories that are continuing to kick in. Severe thunderstorm warnings continuing now, as you can see here as we look through southern portions of Bighorn County, starting to move out towards Fort Smith. You can see this band that's just to the north of Billings. This is up around the Molt area, and then areas as we start looking over towards Stillwater. Sweetgrass County has been busy this afternoon. Flash flooding possible in areas of Carbon County after we picked up an inch and a half of rain in some places. Here's Doppler radar. As of now, you can see those stronger cells coming together. So these storms, as they do approach, have a history of heavy rain, hail, and frequent lightning. So take safe cover if storms start to approach. We'll have an update on the rest of this and the forecast details in just a few minutes.
Glacier National Park's Going to the Sun Road is now open for the season. Visitors can now drive that full 50-mile stretch across Logan Pass from the east and west sides of the park. Shuttle service begins July 1st, departing from Apgar Village to St. Mary's Visitor Center. And park officials warn of the lingering snow at Logan Pass. The High Line Trail remains closed for now. If you're entering from the west, vehicle reservations are required between 7 a.m. and 3 p.m., but no reservation is needed if you're going from the east side. President Donald Trump is attending the G7 gathering in Canada this week, but remains quiet on what it would take for the U.S. to get military involved in the Iran-Israel conflict. As Taureen Small reports, those tensions and a death toll on both sides are weighing heavy on the summit.
Iranian state TV was on the air denouncing Israeli airstrikes at the moment one hit the building. As the state media building smoldered, President Trump appeared to confirm reports that Iran has sent signals it wants to de-escalate fighting with Israel.
They'd like to talk.
Speaking at the G7 summit in Canada, the president said Iran needs to immediately resume talks to end its nuclear program.
I'd say Iran is not winning this war, and they should talk, and they should talk immediately before it's too late.
Speaking from the Middle East, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told ABC News that he thinks killing Iran's supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei, would end the conflict, not escalate it. While the conflict in the Middle East will dominate discussions with G7 partners, the president is also using this meeting with world leaders to talk trade.
We're going to see if we can get to the bottom of it today.
The president met with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney as the two sides haggle over a new trade deal. Trump declared himself a tariff person.
It's simple, it's easy, it's precise, and it just goes very quickly. And I think Mark has a more complex idea, but also very good.
Carney said during the group session that there would be frank discussions and that not everyone may agree, but they'll work through the issues. Taureen Small, CBS News, the White House.
The manhunt is over in Minnesota. Authorities have captured Vance Luther Bolter, now in custody, accused of shooting two Democratic state lawmakers and their spouses. Minnesota Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband died, while the other two victims are recovering. And police said the breakthrough came when they found his car abandoned in a rural area of their county. Police set up a perimeter and located Bolter with a helicopter and infrared technology. He was armed at the time, but police did not use force to arrest him. The 57-year-old is now facing murder charges. The shocking attacks in Minnesota are drawing swift reaction from leaders here in Montana. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian shows us how state officials are responding and what they're calling for next.
Across the political spectrum, elected leaders in Montana said the killing of one state lawmaker and attack on another in Minnesota was horrifying and raised concerns about the political climate nationwide. On social media, Montana House Republicans released a statement from House Speaker Brandon Lear, who called the attack heinous and heartbreaking. He said, quote, "Political violence has no place in America. We must unite in our condemnation of such cowardly and calculated attacks and recommit ourselves to a democracy grounded in peaceful discourse, mutual respect, and safety for those who serve in public office." Democratic Senator Pat Flowers and Representative Katie Sullivan, the two legislative minority leaders, released a statement saying, quote, "Attacks like these are evidence of how the increasingly violent rhetoric that has come to dominate politics in this country inevitably spills over to damage our democratic system and endanger the lives of public servants." Governor Greg Gianforte said in a statement to MTN, quote, "The growing rise of political violence across the nation, including the recent targeted murder and attacks in Minnesota, is un-American. We will not tolerate any threat, act of intimidation, or violence aimed at public officials in Montana. In the past 2 years, there have been 2 cases where Montana officials received suspicious mailings. First, in 2023, multiple state lawmakers got letters containing white powder. Last year, a suspicious package addressed to the Secretary of State's office was intercepted before reaching them. The FBI investigated both of these cases, which both appeared to be part of multi-state patterns. A spokesperson for the agency told me there's been no update on those mailings. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
From farmlands to growing cities, competing needs are shaping big decisions about where our water goes and who gets to use it. In tonight's Montana Ag Report, Megan Elaine takes a tour through Gallatin Valley to see how farmers Judges and planners are all trying to find common ground.
Water in Montana isn't just a natural resource. It's a delicate balancing act between farmers, developers, environmental groups, and government agencies.
My granddad grew food for Bozeman and hauled it there with the horse and wagon in the summertime and then sleigh in the wintertime.
Kevin Haggerty's family has farmed in the Gallatin Valley for more than a century. Today, he's the secretary of the Middle Creek Ditch Company and one of the many voices invited on a unique water tour. The tour, which happens every 2 years, brought together judges, planners, engineers, and farmers, all climbing on board to visit key water sites across the Gallatin Valley.
Talked about water and all sorts of different expertise was available, so we're just trying to figure out what the future of water is.
The group stopped at the Bozeman Water Treatment Facility, which processes 22 million gallons a day, before visiting diversion points, ditches, and private land. However, even with the experts gathered in one place,
nobody can predict the future.
But by bringing together those who use the water and those who write the rules, Kevin says there's hope.
No, exactly that. It's for education for everybody, including myself. And I just talked to the judge. He's still learning too. So hopefully we can get everybody behind us and all get along and figure out the right thing in the future.
As the valley grows, so does the need for better information. Many of the tour heard about the need to update outdated maps that show where water flows, including ditches, streams, and irrigation channels, some of which haven't been touched since the 1950s. Using new 3D mapping tools like LiDAR, Kevin says the work is just underway.
Yeah, I've been working hard on it for the last 3 years, and we're probably not even close to being able to map the Middle Creek Ditch Company yet.
With development on the rise and climate patterns shifting, farmers say access to reliable water is more uncertain than ever. But the collaboration itself is a start.
Collaborative has been a great addition just to bring experts together and try to mold it into something workable.
In Bozeman, Megan Elaine, MTN News.